Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful idea, especially if you're running a service business. We're talking about how to stop that monthly grind of chasing new clients and instead build a real stable revenue engine that basically makes you irreplaceable. So let's jump right in.
So let's start with the big one, a question that I think hits home for a lot of us. Why are most businesses so replaceable? Why can a client love your work one day and then just be gone the next? Why does it feel like you can be so easily swapped out for the next person who comes along?
And this quote, it just nails it. This is the whole mindset shift you have to make. You've got to go from being a nice to have to being absolutely essential. I mean, think about it. You don't just decide to cancel your oxygen supply, right? That's the goal here, to get your service so deeply woven into how your client operates that the thought of leaving you is just a huge pain.
For most people doing project-based work, this is the brutal reality. It's that feeling at the end of the month when the clock resets, your revenue goes back to zero, and the hunt for new clients starts all over again. It's like walking a tightrope without a safety net. You're always just one or two lost clients away from a really bad month.
And look, this isn't a small problem. The scale is just staggering. A whopping 90% of startups fail. And a huge reason why is because they never escape this cycle. They never become essential. They just don't find that sweet spot where the market sees them as, well, as oxygen.
Okay, so if being replaceable is the trap, how do you get out of it? How do you build something that actually lasts and, more importantly, can scale? Well, this brings us to a really powerful framework from an investor named Naval Ravikant, and it's all about how wealth is really built today.
So first, we've got to wrap our heads around this one key concept: leverage. All it means is working smarter, not just harder. It's the art of getting a huge, outsized result from a relatively small amount of effort. And it turns out there are a few very specific ways to do this.
So Naval breaks it down into 3 levers. For a long time, the way you built wealth was with a labor, having people work for you. Then the big shift was to capital, using money to make more money. But today there's a third lever, and it just blows the other 2 out of the water.
And this right here is the game changer. Code, or technology, is without a doubt the most powerful form of leverage we have today. I mean, think about it. You can build a piece of software one time, and you can sell it to millions of people with almost zero extra cost. It's why the richest people in the world aren't real estate tycoons anymore. They're tech founders.
Okay, so we've established the code is the most powerful lever. But let's be real, how do you actually use that if you're a consultant or a service provider and not a full-time software developer? Well, the answer is actually simpler than you think. It's all about embracing the subscription model.
And this chart just lays it out so clearly. Over here on the left, you've got the old way, unpredictable, transactional, and you can only scale by working more hours. But on the right, that's where the magic is. Predictable revenue, a real ongoing relationship with your clients, and the ability to scale without being limited by the hours in your day.
And don't for a second think this is just for companies like Netflix. The subscription model is everywhere. You can apply it to physical products, local services like a car wash, memberships at a gym, and of course, what a lot of us do, digital services like social media management or ongoing consulting. But for those of us in the digital world, this is where it gets really, really interesting. The absolute sweet spot, the ultimate combination, is merging your expert services with a software as a service, or SaaS platform. This is where you not only do the work, but you provide the very tech they need to get it done.
Now, to make this whole idea really click, I want to tell you about a secret from a company we all know, and it forces you to ask a really fundamental question about your own business.
So, what business is McDonald's in? I mean, it seems obvious, right? Burgers and fries, but that's not actually where they make their real money. Not even close.
The crazy truth is that McDonald's is one of the biggest real estate companies on the planet. Their main business isn't selling food. It's buying up prime pieces of land and then leasing them to their franchisees for a profit. The burgers are just the vehicle that makes the land so valuable.
And that brings us full circle. Your one-time service? That's the burger. It's good, but it's a one-and-done transaction. The real, sustainable, scalable wealth is in owning the real estate, the platform, the system that your clients depend on day in and day out.
All right, so let's tie all of this together. Becoming oxygen, using code as leverage, and this McDonald's secret, let's bundle it all up into one clear, actionable idea.
At the end of the day, you really have a choice. You can be the burger seller, always chasing the next sale, relying on other people's tools, and always being replaceable. Or you can be the restaurant owner. You can own the whole delivery system, build your business on your own platform, and become absolutely essential to your clients.
So here's the ultimate goal, the thing to really aim for. Stop just being the person who provides a service using a dozen different third-party tools. Instead, become the provider who delivers that expert service on top of your own integrated platform. A perfect example is Russell Brunson. He taught people marketing using his own software, ClickFunnels. So even after they learned everything he had to teach, they couldn't leave because their entire business was now built on his platform. He made himself the oxygen.
So I'll just leave you with this final question to think about. When you look at your business, right now and in the future, are you focused on just selling the burger, or are you building the whole restaurant? Because honestly, the answer to that could be the difference between just getting by and building something truly incredible.